If I told you about her, what would I say? Perhaps I would just warn you about the tale of love and loss, and the monster who tried to destroy it all.
Welcome all to the top 10 movies of 2017, delivered by me, the best half of Children of Film. It's been a while, like last year. I have to upload this in February because there's a lot of movies I can't really see until now, and I've actually recorded this before we've done our award show, which is out now, but this is coming up afterwards just so it doesn't spoil anything that's, some movies that might get awards, because, our decisions influence what happens there. Go check that out. It's an awesome show. We had a lot of fun. I'm assuming Jacobs will be on over in Inside Jacob's Mind, his other channel, but my favourite, my top 10 of 2017 is coming to you right here, right now. Let's get started. My number 10 is The Disaster Artist. The Disaster Artist is a movie I'm sure you're familiar with. It's about Tommy Wiseau and the making of The Room, one of my favourite guilty pleasure movies. It's so bad that it's so fun. James Franco stars as Tommy, Dave Franco stars as Greg, and it's a whole ensemble. Everyone is in the movie. Seth Rogen's great in it. Zac Efron's great in it. There's so much people. There's so much fun to be had with the movie, but at the crux of the story, it's a story about, trying to make your way through Hollywood, how people just dismiss you, they don't give you a chance, you have to be big to make it in Hollywood, and it's really sad. It's a story about friendship, about trusting someone who's not all there. He's kind of a liar, he's kind of a prick, but, it's getting over those hurdles, learning to become better friends, and it's got such heart to it, which I did not expect from, a James Franco kind of movie. I love these movies, but this one absolutely blew me away with not just what it did with the comedy, which is hilarious, but what it did with the heart of the film. It really complements The Room quite well, and I can't wait to buy this on Blu-ray. It's going to be just awesome to rewatch. I've already seen it twice, and I can't wait to see it again. So that is The Disaster Artist. Fucking loved it. Number 9 is It. I'm not afraid to admit, before it came out, I was dismissing this as another shitty Stephen King movie because I did not think it would be good whatsoever. I'm not really a fan of the old miniseries that became a movie. Well, that is a movie. I think a lot of people have nostalgia for it. I don't think it's very good. I don't think the acting's good. The effects aren't that good. It's fine. Tim Curry's good in it. But, this one blew me away. The first time I saw it, the movie ended and my mouth was open. I was like, I can't believe what I saw, because it's not a horror movie. It's Stand By Me, but with a killer clown. How awesome is that? Kids are gonna grow up as a generation with this movie to look at, like other kids had Stand By Me. The performances by all the kids are amazing, especially Finn Wolfhard, who has such a different character than what he usually plays, which is in Stranger Things. He's the motor mouth. He's so good. All of these characters work so well together. They're all really fleshed out, maybe except for the Jewish kid. And Pennywise, I was making fun of him when they released the photo of him. He is so damn good in this movie, and there's mostly due to the impeccable performance by Skarsgård. It's fantastic, and I am so excited for the sequel. Number 8 is The Big Sick. The Big Sick is pretty much the standard to make a rom-com at. Things that have come before this are like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, other ones like that. I believe that The Big Sick will become a tentpole rom-com because it has equal parts romance, equal parts comedy, which is exactly what you want in a rom-com, but it's taken in such a different direction because, you have a person of color lead. We get to go through his kind of background, learn about him, learn about his culture, and not in a laugh-at-it way, kind of a way where it's really interesting, and I found myself really wanting to know more about him, more about his family. And the best thing about this is it's not just about the two leads, okay? They're fleshed out through their families, because one's family is Ray Romano, Holly Hunter, which is Zoe Kazgan's family. So good characters, such good performances, some of the best I've seen from those actors. And the other family is Kumar's family. I don't know any of those actors, but they're so good as well, and just the dynamic they have between them, especially at the dinner table scenes, is fantastic. I can laugh at this, I can cry at this. It's a movie that takes you through all of the emotions. It's endlessly rewatchable. The Big Sick is one of the best of the year, and I'm really glad that a lot of people love it and not just me, because it's fucking awesome. T2 Trainspotting is and I'm going to say this, the most underrated movie of 2017. Yes, my number 7 goes to Trainspotting 2. I love this movie so much. From a technical aspect, the cinematography, the editing, the sound editing, it's flawless. The screenwriting is fantastic. It's so witty, it's so charming, yet the last half of this movie especially is so damn emotional. The final crux of the scene where, you know, it's basically Big B versus Renton, the last scene where he's smashing on the glass door that he's hit himself in, and when they look up at the camera reminiscing on their childhood, their kids again, just stuff like that, and these instant music cues, you know, they just hurt so much. A little line of dialogue going back to the first one, you know, what about that, how old would that kid be? It really hits you here. I really enjoy the first Trainspotting. I think it's maybe a bit overhyped. I don't want to say overrated because I don't really like that word, but the thing is, I think this one is a better movie in pretty much every aspect, okay? Technically, it's a marvelous film. The first one as well, especially that toilet diving scene, fantastic. But in the second one, it's a much more grown-up film, which is what I love. This isn't your regular sequel. This sequel builds upon the first one, okay? It's about the events in the first movie. If you're weary on watching this because you love the first one so much, do it. You will love this. Anyone who loves the first one will enjoy this movie because these characters have grown up. It's them 20 years later. They're not the same. They've learned from what's happened. They're different. Some have grown up in different ways. Some just want revenge. Some have grown up in different ways, but the heart of this film comes from Spud. Spud is so damn good. Robert Carlyle is fantastic in this movie. Everyone is so damn good in this movie. One of the best acted ensemble pieces of the year. This has gone under the radar. It came out in like January last year, so over a year ago, and I don't know why no one is talking about this. It's so fucking good. I don't understand the like middling reviews for it. I mean, they skew positive, but I don't understand why this isn't hailed as one of the best films of 2017, because it just seems so obvious to me. Number 6 is Baby Driver. Baby Driver was basically my most anticipated movie for the year with Thor Ragnarok, but Baby Driver, it's probably the coolest movie of the year. It's one of the most well-directed movies of the year. The action sequences are bar none probably the best for the year. It has so much things going for it. You know, the ensemble cast is fantastic. Jamie Foxx, one of his best performances in a while. John Hamm is always good, and he's amazing as the villain in this. Kevin Spacey, we don't like to talk about him. A year ago, I would have been like, Kevin Spacey, yeah, but now it's a bit hard. But he is really good in this movie. It's just unfortunate, you know, the circumstances we're in now. But he is really good in this movie. Ansel Elgort and Lily James are what make this movie, though. Their relationship, to me, you know, while some consider undeveloped, I think it's perfect. The story that Edgar takes you on, one of my favourite directors is the person I was talking about before, Edgar Wright. This is one of his movies that, his first movie probably, that skews a little bit away from comedy, more to action, but it's just so damn intense, so damn funny, the writing is brilliant, and this is one of, I wouldn't say his best films because all these other films are in my top 50 of all time, but it's fucking amazing. Go watch Baby Driver. It'll be one of the most fun experiences you will have all year. This endlessly rewatchable. Every time I watch it, I like it more. I know some people don't have that, but I do. I love these characters. I love the movie. It's so damn cool. This soundtrack is fantastic. I can't believe I didn't mention the soundtrack. Every scene fits perfectly. It's like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, the way that the music fits, and it's just fucking fantastic, and I urge everyone to go watch Baby Driver. The next movie I have is a movie I don't actually have the Blu-ray for it yet because it's not out, and this is Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water. The Shape of Water is very reminiscent of a film called Pan's Labyrinth. I've already done a review for this, you can go have a look for me, in that it's a fairy tale about a girl kind of with a disability. One's mute, the other's a kid, you know, it's kind of a disability, and she goes on an adventure with lots of strange creatures, or a strange creature. And there's a lot of themes on it, you know, it takes place during a war, it's kind of a period piece, but it doesn't make, it's not full of itself, which a lot of period pieces are, but this movie, Eliza, played by Sally Hawkins, in like a dance performance, it's fantastic, the cinematography is like water. Talk about ensemble pieces, Michael Shannon, Richard Jenkins, everyone is so damn good in this movie, and the relationship between Eliza and the amphibian man is so beautiful. The end shot is one of the most beautiful shots of the year, arguably maybe the best. I love it. It's my screensaver on my laptop at the moment. This movie breaks me every time I see it. It's so beautiful. It's so passionately told by Guillermo del Toro, which is obviously so in love with making films. You can tell through this movie, and this is one that could very well climb my list as the years go on. But I love The Shape of Water. There is barely an aspect I don't like about it. Fucking Jessica Jones. My number 4 has Taylor Sheridan doing it again. The man kicked it out of the park with Sicario, followed up with Hell or High Water, one of my favourites of last year, and following up again with one of my favourites of this year, Wind River. Man, I cannot wait to see Soldado, because Wind River is fucking brilliant. It is a tense look at all the unsolved murders that go on to African American women, tribal women. This is a movie where Jeremy Renner plays a big game tracker, and he accidentally finds, while he's hunting some mountain lions, a dead woman who has crawled her way like 6 miles into the snow, and the FBI gets called, and Elizabeth Olsen, it's one of her first cases, she doesn't really know what to do, so she gets him to help her, and it's a cat and mouse game with them trying to find the person who's done this, or what's happened, how the hell she got out here. It's amazing. It's a movie about the human spirit, what someone can do that far. It's a movie about depression, what can happen when your kid, that happens to you. We delve into one of my favourite characters of the year, played by, I can't remember his name, but he's played by Jeremy Renner, and, he's dealing with some past trauma, something I really relate to. He and his wife are separated because of stuff that has happened to them. You learn about this through Elizabeth Olsen's character, who's kind of our window into everything that's going on. And, it's kind of a devastating look at these people and what they live with out here. All they live with is the silence and the snow. And it is so intense. I recently rewatched this and just powered up my list. Thinking about it, I really want to watch it again. The action scene inside the caravan is one of the best helmed shootouts I've ever seen. The shootout is one of the best shootouts probably since Heat. It is fucking magnificent, electric. The hairs stand up on your arm while you're watching it. It's unpredictable. You never know where it's going to go, which is a movie, which is a good thing about a couple movies that are going to be on this list. And I can't think of anything wrong to say about it, honestly. It is so fucking good. The performances are fantastic, and the end, it just crushes you. Number 3, the big final 3. My 3 5 out of 5s for the year. This is the big motherfucking hitters, and we're going to start this off with War for the Planet of the Apes. War for the Planet of the Apes is the end in the Planet of the Apes trilogy I'm really fond of. I love the first two, 4.5 and a 5 respectively for Rise and Dawn, but this movie capped it off. It's an emotional war. We're in a war. No, it's not your standard war movie where there's big shootouts and there's a big action scene and Caesar leads his battles into charge. It's much more than that. It's way more intellectual than that. The journey that Caesar goes on with all of these other apes is impeccable. You're going through, you're learning. Caesar, one of the best modern characters of the decade. You're learning more about this world. I don't know how these movies, Matt Reeves especially, wind you to where you're against humanity. You're like, yeah, we should fucking die. This is awful. Caesar is a being of pure wholesomeness, and I would die for him. And he's leading this pack, and it's just everything is kind of turning into a point where you can see in the future where they're going to go back to that original movie, and it's just such an emotional journey, and it will kill you. Matt Reeves has created one of the best end to a trilogy of all time. My number 2 is also a movie that is not on Blu-ray yet, and this is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. One of my favorite directors, Martin McDonagh. That's actually a poster for it up there. This is a powerhouse of a movie that I also reviewed, I believe. That should be up there soon. This is about a mother, and 7 months ago she lost her daughter. Her daughter was raped and killed, and she puts up billboards on the town because the police aren't doing anything about this. And this movie is about grey areas. This character, who you think would be, the tentpole great character, your hero, she's a bit fucked up. She does some unredeemable things. She almost kills someone. Sam Rockwell was a terrible person, and the journey he goes on is unbelievable that someone would attempt that journey, let alone fucking perfect it. The writing is fantastic. The cinematography is so damn good. The score is so damn good. All of these characters, this town just feels so damn realistic. The bounce off each other, especially between the main character, our main character Mildred, and Sam Rockwell's Jason Dixon, is fantastic. It's so fucking fun. It may be the funniest movie of the year, and you know, it's not even a comedy. It's like a drama, and it may be the funniest movie of the year. Talk about not knowing where this thing is going. This thing is unpredictable. You never know what the fuck's gonna happen. Something happens in the first act where you're like, what? I'm not gonna spoil it for you because I want you to go watch it, but it's out of nowhere. You're like, oh yeah, it's gonna do this. Oh, okay. Oh, this is gonna happen. They're gonna figure this out. What? That's what? Like, it will keep you guessing to the very end. It's a heart-wrenching movie. The performances are fantastic. 2 Oscar-winning, in my opinion, performances, especially by Sam Rockwell and by the great... Fucking really? Frances McDormand. I cannot recommend this movie enough. Please go see it if it's still playing right now. I really hope it wins Best Picture because it thoroughly deserves it. I love 3 Billboards. My number 1 movie of 2017 came out in March or February of last year, like almost a year ago. How insane is that? This is Logan. Logan is something it's the director of 3:10 to Yuma, I think is great. The Wolverine is fine, and it's the director of that, and I was like, here comes another fine Wolverine movie to see Logan go. Then those awesome trailers came out. I'm like, okay, maybe this is gonna be good, or maybe they're just making some good trailers. Who knows? And it was better than I ever could have imagined. This thing floored me. This is unlike any superhero movie ever made. You know, this is a superhero, but he's not a hero anymore. You know, at the start of this movie, he's a broken man. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't even want to get up. You find him in a ditch taking a nap in a car because he's poisoned. He's slowly dying. Or he's tending for Charles, who is also dying. He's losing his mind. The most powerful mind in the world is destroyed, and I believe if Patrick Stewart was playing someone with Alzheimer's, which this character has, but he wasn't a superhero, he would probably be winning the Oscar right now. It's bullshit, the prejudice they have against these movies. But when they find Laura X-23, which is one of the best female performances of the year, by the way, Daphne Keane, the journey Logan goes on from being this guy who doesn't want anything to do with anyone to someone who wants to become a hero again for this little girl. He wants to take her to this destination. At the start, he doesn't. He has a complete change in principles, a complete change in morals. He wants to become the Wolverine again one more time to help this little girl, to help these people that he thought were dead. The X-Men are dead, and there's a group of little X-Men, little kids, who are still alive, and they want to be safe. This movie is so socially relevant. They want to cross the border because people are trying to kill them. They want to get into Canada. How relevant is that right now? The villain is so good, and the side villain, X-24, was out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck? I thought that was Sabretooth when it first came, and I'm like, maybe it's not Sabretooth, it's this. You don't know where this thing is going for the first time you watch it, which is a crux of great movies, as you've heard. The character of Logan is just such a sad character, and again, the journey they go on. About 3 times I cried in this movie, and I will probably every time I watch it. I show my girlfriend, who doesn't give a lick about superhero movies, she cried in this movie. It's just a journey all people should take, and I think, again, this is going to be a tentpole for superhero movies. You know, it's going to be Superman, it's going to be Batman 89 for some reason, it's not that good, it's going to be The Dark Knight, The Avengers, Logan. People are going to remember this like, fuck. And that goes for things like Wonder Woman as well, which may not be the best movie, but it will be remembered for it breaking the mold of female superhero movies. But yes, Logan, my favorite movie of the year. I can't recommend this thing enough. It's in my top 50 of all time right now. It moved in. I love this thing so much. I'm just going to go off a few honorable mentions as well before I go. Movies that I love but I couldn't talk about. We've got I, Tonya. It's like a Wolf of Wall Street like biopic. Fantastic. Paddington 2. Such a wholesome creature. Such a wholesome movie. So intellectual. So creative. Thor Ragnarok. One of my favorite movies of the year. MCU movies, that is. My favorite MCU movie. Molly's Game. Aaron Sorkin's directorial debut. Fantastic. Fantastically written. One of the best screenplays of the year. John Wick 2. This is the standard for action movies. Blade Runner 2049, the most expensive indie movie ever made. Get Out is it. This changes the game for horror movies and first-time directors. Wow, Jordan Peele, fucking well done. Coco, one of my favorite Pixar movies, and that saying a lot because I fucking love Pixar. Brawl in Cell Block 99 took me completely by surprise, almost made my 10. It was in my 10 for most of the year. I love this movie, Vince Vaughn. It's a powerhouse. Mother, and Mother is the last one I think is borderline in my 10. Mother is fantastic. I love the parallels it draws to the Bible, and you can take so much meanings out of this thing. It's just such a great movie, and one of the most horrifying kind of put it all on the screen sequences I've ever seen. Thank you guys for watching my top 10 movies of 2017, even though it's 2018 right now, you have to wait so long, I'm sorry. Go check out our podcast, go check out our award show, go check out Jacob's top 10, which is an awesome video on his channel. He makes such great stuff, man. Cannot wait to kick this year off with a bang. I've already seen a few movies, some have already been really, really good, and I can't wait to see where we go. Take this journey with me, I'll take it with you. Thank you for watching again. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. What's your top 10? I actually want to know. I'm interested in what your top 10 is. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.